Hi, it's Dr. Gold. This is video number 2, which is going to walk you through the 3 steps that need to be completed this week, the first week of class, no later than Thursday, January 15th at 12 p.m. Otherwise, you potentially could be dropped from the course. So to avoid that from happening, pay attention to what we cover in this video and make sure you complete the 3 tasks that are due this week. The ongoing weekly module assignments, which we'll talk about in a separate video, those will pick up in week number 2, and the first due date, as you'll see when we log into Blackboard for the other modules that begin in week 2, will be January 22nd. As you know from listening to the syllabus video, this course is predicated upon a student learning about entrepreneurship by being an entrepreneur. There are many ways to go about learning about any topic. It's my personal opinion that the best way to learn about something is by experiencing that thing. So you are expected to work on an actual business idea. That business idea can come in any shape or form. It can be a for-profit business. It could be a non-profit idea. And while you have to, by January 15th, within the first 4 days of the class, post a summary of what that idea is, don't be nervous and worried and think to yourself, oh my gosh, I don't really have a business idea that I can work on, because business ideas typically change over time and nothing is written in stone. The key is to get you to start thinking more quickly and to get you to take action on ideas that you have. So some of you may have ideas for businesses you've been talking about with friends or family members for quite some time. Well, pick one of them and we'll begin to formalize a structure around that business idea that will allow us to get a lot more focused on testing whether or not that idea is actually valid or not. For those of you who don't have ideas, I'll just give you one example of how you might go about coming up with a business idea is to think about the problems that you have in your own life, or problems that your friends and family are experiencing, or problems that you've observed in society, or problems that you encounter on a day-to-day basis when interacting with other businesses. These problems all are in need of different types of solutions, and that's kind of what your idea will emanate from. So, for example, you might have a feeling that you're always under time pressure, that you're running out of time, you don't have enough time for this and enough time for that, and that's a very common problem that people have. If you were to develop a business around solving that time-constrained problem for some people and come up with a solution, that could be a viable business idea. Whether or not it's actually viable or not would be tested through the course of this semester and working on, some sort of business model that can deliver some sort of solution to the time-constrained problem. But for example, you might feel like, gosh, I always have to wait at home for, the cable TV repair person to show up, or for an electrician to come, or, I'm wasting time waiting at home when I could be working, or I could be going to school or doing other things. So one business idea could be for you to develop a business where you provide licensed, insured individuals to go over to people's homes and businesses and wait for those repair folks to come to that location, so the person who lives there or works there doesn't have to spend time doing that and can spend time on other elements of their life. I'm just thinking of this as we're talking, so it's not a well fleshed out business idea, but I'm just trying to connect for you ways that entrepreneurs come up with ideas, is through, not because they want to make money, but through trying to solve problems that are within their field of vision. I honestly have never met an entrepreneur, and I've been an entrepreneur for a long time, whoever said to me, I started my business because I wanted to make a lot of money. If making a lot of money, and don't get me wrong, money is important on many, many different levels, but if making a lot of money is the genesis for your idea, the likelihood of your idea being successful is very, very low. And this is why. Entrepreneurship as a field is extremely difficult and extremely challenging. It's not like the movies, it's not like the stories you read about or watch on TV. It's not like the Facebook story where there's a bunch of college kids in a dorm room developing some sort of website, and then you flash forward a couple of scenes, and all of a sudden they're out in California and they're getting money, and then the final scene is they're making $1 gazillion. I think that that's sort of like the narrative that many people have, and the perception that many people have about entrepreneurs, that they're these kind of offbeat, wacky folks that come up with these ingenious ideas and make $1 gazillion. And that's simply false. I don't know how else to put it. By focusing on people like Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates as examples of what entrepreneurship is like sort of teaching financial literacy to people and saying, I'm going to profile people who've won the lottery as examples of people who have stable financial circumstances. Because the people like Bill Gates from Microsoft and Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook and Steve Jobs and so forth, these people are extraordinarily lucky on some levels and gifted on other levels. But at the inception, they all started out by trying to solve some sort of problem, okay? And the reason why it's important that money not be the driving force is because the challenge of getting from the beginning stages to that last scene in the movie when everybody's making a lot of money, in order to overcome all of those challenges that you're going to run into inevitably during the course of time of building your startup business, you need to be deeply committed to whatever that idea is. And if it was about money, you're kind of going to be like, well, I thought I could make a lot of money doing this. Screw it. I'm just going to move on to something else. But if it's about some strongly held conviction or belief that you have that this problem that exists needs to be solved and that your solution is viable, you're going to push yourself to get through those various challenges that exist. All right, so let's log in here to Blackboard and see exactly what do you have to do by Thursday, January 15th. As you know from reading the syllabus, every Thursday at 12 p.m., which is noontime, your assignments will be due. There are no exceptions to this rule, so once that due date has passed, you cannot contact me and ask for a makeup or an opportunity to make up missed work and so forth, because you're simply not going to get that opportunity. The reason I'm kind of tough on this front is because life is tough and the world is tough, and sometimes when you make choices, which is really the one thing you have full control over, those choices have consequences. So you have to just kind of get your head wired the right way in terms of what we're trying to do here. So when we go into our course, you'll see on the left-hand side this section over here that says start here, must complete these tasks by January 15th. So you hop in here and you watch the overview videos. This is one of them. The other one is an introduction to the syllabus video, which you should have already watched. You should have already read the syllabus, and you're kind of up to this point now, you're watching the Start Here videos. Once you're done watching these 3 videos, you'll then move on to Section 2, which is a syllabus acknowledgement. The syllabus acknowledgement, to activate it, you click on where it says Syllabus Acknowledgement Terms and Conditions, and you'll be presented with a screen that looks like this. When I click Begin, it's going to say I've already taken it because I've tested it and already gone through it, whereas you will be presented on this screen with like 5 or 6 or 7 different terms and conditions that come from the syllabus that you have to agree to. You then check that you agree and you submit that again by January 15th, no later than 12 p.m. And if you disagree with any of the terms and conditions, then what you need to do is you need to contact me by phone so we can talk about what your disagreement is. But to avoid getting dropped from the course, you have to watch the 2 videos in this section here. Step 1, watch the videos. You have to agree to the syllabus acknowledgement, and then you have to move on to step 3. Now, step 3 is worth 10 points. These other 2 things are not worth points, but could jeopardize your standing in the course if you don't complete them. Step 3 actually is worth 10 points, and this is the area where you're going to pitch your business idea that we talked about earlier in the video. What I would recommend doing is watching the videos that will be inside of this folder that sort of share with you real entrepreneurs and how they came up with their ideas before you kind of post your own. Then when you go to post your own, sort of write it out first and map out what exactly it is you want to write about and work on, and what your idea is and what the problem is and why you think your solution potentially is a important one. And then you click onto where it says pitch your business idea to the discussion thread. When you do that, you click on this link and it opens up a discussion board. You'll see Professors Pay Professors, which is one of my business ideas, and when you click on that, I simply have this in here as an example of how you might map out your pitch. There's a certain cadence to it and flow where you say your name, the name of your business, what sort of problem it is that you're addressing, what your solution is, and then you post that to this particular project, to this particular discussion thread. To post your idea, you click on reply here, and you type in whatever your business idea is. So you would type in, my name. I mean, you don't have to do it this exact way, but my name is John, and my business is X. The problem I am solving is Y. And, you just sort of map it out if you want to, sort of mirroring the way I've written it, but, write it in your own words, but make it clear and concise. And then when you're done, you click submit on the lower right-hand side. Once you do that, I will see your business idea. I'll probably give you some feedback about it. You'll get the 10 points. And again, please understand that you are expected to work on a real business idea here, okay? I don't want this to be sort of make-believe and fake, because as you go through these assignments in subsequent weeks, you're actually going to be working on a real business. Whether or not you launch the business, whether or not you actually want to even go into business, whether or not you want to be an entrepreneur, that's all secondary stuff, because the learning will come through actually working on a real idea. And hopefully the idea that you've selected is one that you feel passionate about, that you care about, because that will make it that much more interesting for you and worthwhile as you progress through the course. So that's it for this video here, which again reviews the Start Here section of 3 things that need to be done. The deadline for completing these tasks again is the first week of class, Thursday, January 15th. No later than 12 p.m. noontime do these 3 things need to be done. And then you'll move on to your weekly module assignments, and I will cover that in the next video.